The trick is, where do we see a lot of data? So more than one source. Where do we see those data coming from primary sources? And then what other criteria are being met? So, sort of broadly speaking, when we're trying to think through emerging trends that'll have some lasting power, we tend to look very broadly at all of the places where change and disruption tend to come from. Our model uses 11 different sources. Some of them are familiar: geopolitics, wealth distribution, the environment, things like that. And then we look for patterns. Where do we see contradictions, things that are different, or they're functioning differently when normally they would sort of be working together? We look for inflection points. Are we seeing pockets of big investment? Are we seeing markets being made? Are we seeing lots of new startups? Are we seeing innovation centers pouring a lot of their ideas, all of a sudden in academic research and things? So contradictions, inflections, changes in practices is a big one. And right now, I would say now is kind of like harvest season for signals, because there's so much in flux. Where are people doing things differently than they would normally do them, or how are they using technology or something else differently? So those are the top three. And then we look at some other patterns as well: hacks, people taking things to extremes, and then really truly rare events. So we look at all of this, and then we're trying to figure out, where do we see an evolution over time? And the trick, again, you have to do this, but you have to do it and you have to use data. But we're trying to distinguish between what's a flash in the pan and what's an example of something bigger, and then what's the actual trend that's worth following.